It seems like Will Smith is caught in his marriage, and just now individuals start to understand the poisonous impact that Jada has on him. Word is on the road that few individual big names transparently implied to Will that he really wants to accumulate his solidarity and document for a separation. However, apparently the entertainer fears the outcomes of this, since his harmful spouse accumulated enough provocative intel on the popular entertainer that can smudge his standing perpetually. Well, I never realized things were that monstrous, so we should dive into the subtleties. Hey everybody, and welcome back to Celeb Live channel. I keep my eyes on the most outrageous occasions in the big time, and continuously present to you the most sizzling updates, so the things in this Miss family have never been great yet. It seems like no less than one individual in this association stays in it against his own will, as a few VIPs notice. Will Smith understands that this marriage with Jada turned harmful, and they request that he end things for his prosperity. Yet it seems like the men in Dark Star is fundamentally caught in this damn association, since it was accounted for that Jada has something in her control that could obliterate Will's picture, and she would utilize it on the off chance that he chooses to leave her. I imply that is some sort of a wreck Will has found himself mixed up with. And if you have any desire to realize what occurs next, try to remain with me for the rest of this video. Will Smith and Jada's marriage has been the hotly debated issue of charges and remarks for a really long time, both among the fans and the stage too, and keeping in mind that most of individuals, including Will's kindred big names, continually advise the entertainer to seek legal separation from his harmful wife for reasons unknown. He appears to remain close by, regardless of how she treats him. That is, to me, you don't shake with that sort of female. Will's existence with Jada has been a personal thrill ride starting from the beginning, and it included numerous contentions, remembering the rehashed reports about her cheating for him, as per T. Kirkland, who made a tremendous meeting examining the motivations behind for what reason Will and information are still attached an individual in the position. Like Will doesn't have a lot to lose on the grounds that Jada is the sort of lady everybody ought to avoid. And he even said that in the event that Will Smith wasn't Will Smith, he'd smack Jada, which truly says a ton regarding this lady. Well, Jada herself is certainly not an alien to circulating fiery insights regarding her once confidential marriage with a renowned entertainer. In one of her public admissions, she conceded that it was hard for her to keep a cozy existence with her better half. And keeping in mind that Jada permits herself to drop bombs like this, it's her VIP husband who requirements to give every one of the clarifications during his meetings, like in that episode, when Will stopping briefly to talk with Oprah Winfrey, and the television have evidently humiliated the entertainer by examining him concerning his private existence with his significant other, and in any event, proposing that Jada is searching for fulfillment as an afterthought. Well, the hotshot needed to admit that he and his better half given each other trust and opportunity to investigate other significant others over the span of their unusual security. That is the sort of lady you leave, that is the sort of lady you stay away. Because of her statement, Will needed to confront a ton of inquiries regarding possible separation, and sooner or later, he even conceded on the Oprah syndicated program, where he came to talk about his forthcoming history, that he and Jada resided in a dream deception when they accepted that they could make each other blissful. Clearly, in the event that two individuals don't energy any longer, they dare to concede that things are not working between them. But rather for reasons unknown, this was not the situation for Will and Jada. They transformed their marriage into some sort of vacation, where Jada nodded off with others to fulfill her necessities. The couple's enormous leap forward, seeing someone after a battle on Jada's 40th birthday celebration, and the two of them concurred they expected to satisfy themselves prior to getting back to the relationship. From that point forward, understanding the Smiths' marriage was under the magnifying lens of public's consideration for the most part due to Jada's extramarital undertakings, and keeping in mind that Jada rushed to embrace her better approach for life, It seems like Will needed to acknowledge what is going on how it was. And since his better half needed to lay down with others, he felt himself compelled to betray her too in his memoir. Will shared his contemplations on adoration and opportunity, and conceded that conventional marriage was never a possibility for Jada in his meeting with Oprah. He said, "No lady can fulfill me so. I don't have to search for one to attempt to satisfy me. No man can satisfy information. So she don't have to go search for one to satisfy her. We both realize that there is no individual that will fill your opening." Yet by what it looks, Will doesn't actually accept what he is talking about, and his endeavors to save the face in the midst of the tales about his falling marriage didn't persuade anybody. Numerous famous people saw that while Jada was all right with an open marriage, such thing was unsuitable for Will. Yet he got through the torment of his better half cheating without expressing anything to her. Chris Rock was another superstar who straightforwardly questioned that Will acknowledge such sort of relationship, and in his discourse, he jabbered about the idea of Will and Jada's marriage, presumably attempting to persuade the entertainer to rethink his want to be with this lady. Evidently, Jada never truly needed to get hitched, as it was stated in one of the episodes of her Facebook show that their big day was terrible. Eventually, she conceded that she never intended to get hitched, and she was crying while at the same time strolling down the passageway toward her future spouse, as Jada stated. "And I was upset to the point that I needed to have a wedding. I was so pissed. I went crying down the friggin' walkway. I cried the entire way down the path." Wow, what a method for beginning a marriage. This admission brings up significantly more issues about the Smiths' relationship, and it makes sense of why Jada is doing anything she desires in her marriage, remembering unfaithfulness and broadcasting filthy material for public, and won't ever says a word against her many individuals, except that the entertainer might have left her a long time back, if not for something hazier, like some grimy proof she has on him. One individual remarked she has something on him that should be awful to such an extent that he's hesitant to conflict with her. That would be a dreadful lifestyle choice. And someone else said Jada realizes his numerous male sweethearts, including Duane Martin, his greatest slip-up individuals of color, regardless of the couple sharing 2 children and residing numerous years together. It was been known starting from the starting that Jada's heart doesn't have a place with Will. I mean, she hauled him wherever like a little dog, driving him to sit and tune in about her tricks, and endless love to Tupac. I surmise on the off chance that Tupac was alive, Jada could never wed Will Smith, and things were deteriorating with each new year in light of the fact that Jada never felt cheerful. On the off chance that you will side, evidently, the entertainer began to understand that he wouldn't satisfaction to with this lady, and their nearby circle conceded that their relationship turned out to be more terrible as an insider guaranteed, since the Oscar embarrassment pressures between them have been tangible. There have been discernible. There have been issues for quite a long time, yet they're scarcely talking right now. With Jada's consistent statement, "I can't help thinking about how Will stays with her since she embarrassed him commonly and on many events, like for instance, conceiving that she was laying down with a youthful vocalist, August Alsina, in the episode of the Facebook Watch series. The couple uncovered that Jada and Alsina did truly have a close connection, 4.5, quite a while back when she and her better half were isolated. Yet apparently Jada understands what she's doing on the grounds that Will never at any point expressed anything against her. And what compels me accept that he is caught in this marriage is the bits of gossip about Jada subtly recording her significant other and afterward extorting him. Due to that, everything ends up being clear when you see one film that as of late surfaced since the camera began working. Will is seen drained and irritated in light of the fact that he needed to go through a loosening up day at home, as opposed to modeling for another recording that might surface one day on the web and utilized against him. He obviously requested that his significant other quit shooting him without his consent, which is something typical to request, right? I mean, it's his protection. I'll simply begin shooting me. without asking me, Jada didn't turn off the camera and continued to keep the entertainer in his own home, where you should have a good sense of security. Thus, Will made one more endeavor to advise her that the manner in which he shows up via virtual entertainment mirrors his vocation and notoriety. My online entertainment presence is my meat and potatoes opiate. In any event, being approached 2 times to quit recording, Jada was hesitant and continued to push her camera into her significant other's face. Well, I can think about what else she recorded and didn't tell him. Obviously, Will's primary issue isn't just his significant other infidelity, yet some revolting proof she has against him.